what time is it? Your show. Yeah, what time is it? Your show. Yeah, what time is it? Your show. Yeah, he's back from the dead. Your show. Putting it on the map, yeah. Saskatoon. Right next to New York. New York. Yeah, what show, yeah. Your show. What time is it? Your show. Yeah, time to talk some shit, yeah. Your show.
You've tuned in, yeah?
Yeah, fun Maggie. Bark, bark, wolf, wolf, move on to treat, yeah. Keep listening.
Hello and welcome into the Wednesday edition of your show. I'm sorry, I'm out of breath again. There's too much running around before the start of the show today. We are still, as far as we know, the only show that goes live 4 to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday each and every week here in this beautiful city of ours. And we're so damn grateful to be able to say that to you, as going live is something not a lot of people do, and we really thrive on it around here, so it's very, very cool. We also have a camera. Did you bring a dog in with you, Coach, too? Is there a Maggie around there? I got her. Don't worry. We also have a camera. And this camera got extra famous today. I got a great story about this. I got it over here, waiting for you. You got it. Well, you can get a new headset in there, too. Just grab one. It's fine. We also have the greatest camera in the history of mankind. That camera is the Maggie Cam. Have a peek-see-poo at this. There she is. She's currently running for Prime Minister. That's what her poster is saying there. Very exciting. And we love our Maggie. The Maggie Cam for our fantastic pals over at Pet Planet on 8th Street, your pet's natural grocer. When you walk through those magical doors, your life changes forever. Maggie's boyfriend, Leroy, meets you at the door just like she meets us here whenever you walk in at the beautiful Dufferin Ave Media Network studios. And not only that, look at her. Oh, she looks so happy. Not only that, they have brand new buckle-up collars and matching leashes. They have all the treats you need, all the toys you need, all the outfits you need and or dream of. And they have the greatest cleaning station in the history of mankind. And we're getting real close to puppy cleaning time. So be sure to head over to Pet Planet on 8th Street, your pet's natural grocer, when you need to clean your pet. We love them. Mike and Rochelle, the whole team there, so good. Kirsten, Sharon, Chris, after hours, weekends, everybody doing a great job over there. All right, March, you did it. You did you're all the way up. Look at her go. She's really going hard. Anyways, if you're wondering what's going on in the background, we're just getting guys lined up, getting guys with earpieces. One of the things about going live is this sort of thing happens. Well, you better clean it out. Clean out your earpiece. That's another good lesson. Shout out to our friends over at Sound Hearing Impressions, Cassandra and the team over there. Some amazing ones. What's that? Is there no AJ today? I guess we should have checked the charts. Either way, I've been promoting him. You know, I should look at that group chat. That's okay. So no earpieces. You don't even need one. You want to look cool? I'm taking mine out. Sorry, guys.
We can pretend we're Secret Service.
There it is. I like that move. That's very good. We need suits, though. So every Wednesday, we do the all the way around table, and the reason it's called that is because we go all the way around the world to check in with our very good friend, Coach Number 1, a.k.a. our buddy Adrian Blarjan in Melbourne, but he's not here. So it's just the boys. So this will be good. Now all the cameras are, I guess we can still roll with the cameras, hey? Yeah, we can roll with the punches. This will be just fine. All right. Are you coming up, Coach? Before I introduce everybody, before I make the big reveal? We don't need one.
Maybe he's there. Is he there?
Hold on, we got Phenom on the ones too. You didn't even wave today. Phenom, say hello. There he is. See, Phenom? Literally just a hand working in a booth, living that hand life. So he's not here, and you assumed he wasn't here, so that probably means he's not supposed to be here.
Well, okay, he said, I won't be here this weekend, but I know it's upside down in Australia, so I don't know what that meant.
That's fair.
It could be the weekend now. You know.
You can hear the voices, so we're going to introduce them to you now. Founders, creators,
Everything.
the most incredible local media television hosts you will ever meet in your life. The precipice for this very dream that we're chasing right here. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Simon Hyde and Curtis Anderson.
Team Ramrod.
Team Ramrod.
Ramrod forever.
And Coach 2.
Coach 2.
Coach 2.
Coach Comma 2, I guess we could say. Technically, well, this is good. This is very good.
So our correspondent from Australia will not be here today.
No Australian correspondence. You
I
guys.
watched last week's show, which I was not a part of, and of course he's
I
coming
was-
from a coffee shop. Are you kidding me?
I was so proud.
In like the first 3 seconds, he's like, I'm in a coffee shop. I come and sit here all day. I drink my bullet coffee. I don't tip.
Hey.
I have 1 coffee for the entire 8 hours.
Magic Melbourne coffee.
Yes.
Melbourne Magic.
Melbourne every time. Damn it.
Like this is the most
You want to come?
topics I want to talk about in one show, and I wasn't there.
That was
What's
the
the time difference? What time is it there? Like when
a
we're
day and a
starting?
half, I
Day
think.
and a half?
No, I think it's 16 hours.
16 hours ahead, right? So
2/3 of a day, 3/4.
16 hours.
You guys were talking about Nutana before upgrading. I went there to upgrade my grade 12 math
Oh,
because
yeah.
I failed it twice at Adam Bowman because Miss Roberts didn't like me very much and I was a horrible student. And then Mr.
Both good
Katru.
reasons.
Yep. Then Mr. Katru failed me at Nutana. And it was all the same tests. I say it all the time. If I would have just saved a couple tests, I would have just aced everything. But
What level? This was math A?
yeah, I don't have my grade 12 math.
Wow.
Isn't that something?
Yeah,
So when
my
I say
brother-
2/3, 3/4, quarter, day and a half. that's
2/3,
illegal.
you're right. 16 over 24, you nailed it.
See, this is why we keep Simon around. The stats guy. Stats guys.
I had a 53 in grade 12 math, and then I married a math nerd.
That's the worst.
That's right. That's working smarter.
Well, unless you're like, does she chirp you lots for not being good at math?
No, she loves being the numbers girl of the family. It works out well.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
I have a math story too. I had a math
Did you bring
B.
a son? Did you bring a
Yeah.
human?
Louis here.
Louis,
I did
good to see you, buddy.
math B. I did not jive very well. I think it was in grade 11, and I was late for school that year because I was wanting to be a hockey player, so I was going to
You
all
were
these
so
camps.
good. You
and
still
stuff.
are so good at hockey.
Not that good.
Yeah, pretty
And
good.
I went to some of these camps. I didn't do well in them at all. I was a late bloomer, Gary.
I love how you're still talking.
And
about
then I got to a late start and a rough start with some of the academic types, the teachers, and they weren't a fan of me not taking my schooling seriously. It wasn't that. I just was late, so I just was behind, so I had some catch up to do. Anyway, I didn't get along well with my math B teacher, and I think I got a 53 as well, something like
who
that.
was the teacher?
It doesn't matter.
Oh,
Mr. Weeb. And he,
Mr. Weeb. Mr. Weeb was good.
I did not get along with the guy.
Okay. That's
And
fair.
so I passed. So he's like, if you get a 70 whatever, you're going to pass this class and I will allow you to take the next level of math because you obviously showed you could do it. So I had like a
Usually
30
how that
going
works.
into it. Well, it's like, but you don't pass at a 50. I think to get
Oh,
to the
yeah,
next one, you need
we
like
had
a,
to. We had
a
to allow
70.
him to
So
get
he's
to
just
50,
like,
yeah.
you
It's
took
like
your,
you're giving this teacher a lot of glowing praise for someone
Yeah.
who's like, if you pass the class, I'll let you take the next one.
Wow.
big part of
So here's the
school.
deal.
Here we are.
Passed, signed up for math C 30 or whatever, however it works.
Yeah.
And then I
numbers,
walk in and I
letters.
get the little card where who's your teacher, and it's Mr. Weeb again. And I remember going to class and I was just like, I'm not sticking around here. So I dropped it and I took B again because I had some sweet lady who was the math B teacher. So anyway, I had like a 90. You know what's funny? I had a 90 the whole way through that class until the final. I got the same score in the final. My grade dropped to like pretty much the same deal. Good story.
Dude,
Anyway.
I will tell you, that's a fun one to live through because I think we all have memories of math class and being incredibly hard.
Yeah, I got some fun high school fighting with teacher stories.
Yeah,
But
you
we
do.
won't
I
go
know
through
you
this.
do. We're not
Yeah.
allowed to talk about those.
You asked if my wife ever chirps me for being
Yes.
bad at math. No, she doesn't. But there's definitely times where she's like, "Hey, do you have like $40 on you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I got 5 5s." And then she doesn't
have
chirp
5
me.
8s?
She just kind of like, you could tell she's like doing some self-reflection. She's
course.
more looking at herself than me. Like, all right,
That went a
okay.
different way. I thought you were going to take it in another direction, talking about how, how guys say, like, yeah, 6 inches, like something to do with fractions and the downstairs. That's where I was hoping you were going to go.
No, sorry, man.
But to do it creatively.
It's a family show.
Well, yeah, that's
Gary.
what I mean. That's why you do it creatively, like I just
Okay.
did. See? You got to be on it. It's like those kids' cartoons. People love the kids' cartoons because they have those little things that the parents get that goes over the head of the kids.
Right.
That's sort
right,
of what this show is.
Right.
I like to think of it like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, those
We
things.
contain multitudes.
Yeah.
There it is.
Should I do that if we bring Louis on? We should do that.
Yeah.
Can we do that live?
We could.
As long as he sat still.
And just see what his reactions are.
My
So did you
box,
get that
my
one?
box juice, my
Yeah.
mysterious box juice has
Yeah.
more juice in
Than the
it
cup.
than
Well, that's
the
'cause
cup can handle.
You want to talk about ironies, boys?
Mm-hmm.
That's the bigger cup.
You should have used
I
those
wasn't gonna
math
drink
skills
out
to
of it
figure out the volume.
Until I approved it, Gary. Because I'm a strictly Uncle Mike's wax,
yeah.
the,
Shout out to Uncle
shaving
Mike.
I don't-
cream thing.
I don't see how. If you ask me, that cup's got to be 12 inches.
Thank you.
There.
See?
Okay,
Now
I
we're
brought
cooking.
it back. I got your back, Gary.
All right, boys. Now check this out.
Okay.
As we continue to grow, look at this. You guys see this?
What a segue.
Oh,
That's my dude right there. That's Mable Llorente with TMG right there. That's my dude. They got to say, think outside the branch. All right. Hit them up. Check out the banner. Phone number 306-370-5804 for Mable, my man.
Mable.
Join in the team.
Thank you, Mably.
As we have another
That's wicked.
new advertiser with
Nice.
us. Want to give him some love?
We're due for a mortgage renewal coming up here in a couple of months. I'll
We
get
got a
in touch
guy.
with him.
Absolutely. This guy is awesome. I can tell you,
I-
he and his partner have been family members for a long time with us. So let's put it that way. So
That's
it's
sweet.
just great people supporting each other.
Mhm.
Excellent.
And
same
you know
with
what I
everything else
love
here.
is that,
The phonetic spelling.
well, the phonetic spelling, but it's your show and it's your ente.
You're
Yeah.
right.
Thank you.
Hey, you know what else? If you got a business, you want to be like Mobley, guess what? It's real easy. Contact at dufferinave.com. That is where you can find us. And then when I get mad, I go like this, get out of here. And then when I get happy, I say, I like our website. You can check this out too. Dufferinav.com.
Wow.
The street sign at the end is just the right size. Been a lot of arguments over that street sign right there.
It's perfect.
A lot of guys are saying it's too big.
But a
Right.
street sign, imagine if we brought a real street sign in.
Yeah.
It looks small up there, but then you bring it in, it'd be
Dude.
really big. So it should
Isn't
be
it
big.
amazing how quickly you get desensitized to this kind of stuff when you're
Wait
here?
for it.
I
Wait
remember
for
the
it.
first time I told you to watch, and I was just like watching the show through your eyes at home, and I was like, "Oh, he's gonna have so many
Maybe
questions."
in the worst spot.
Here
There
we
you go,
are.
girl. You guys ready for this? This is the magic.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna,
This
just
is
gonna
the magic?
Reach over. Yeah, I'm gonna
Those
reach over.
wizards
grab
at
it on the top.
ILM have been hard at work.
Get out of here.
Whoa!
Then you flex. Do a young bucks. Super kick party. Thank you, Phenom. Love you. Hit the
Phenom
one-hand
is
cap.
clapping like
Getting
crazy.
a pop from the booth today.
Wow.
The one-handed clap. The only guy
Very
in
impressive.
the biz that can make sounds.
The
with
sound of
hand.
one hand clapping.
Contact us. Join this incredible party that we put on here each and every weekday. Scheduled viewing. We talked about it numerous times about the reason that everybody is so all over the place with how they consume content. Not only it's the Netflix syndrome with way too many options, but no one comes together to watch stuff at the same time anymore, except for sports. That's about it. Right here, you know, at 4 p.m., just like when you got home, you know your show's on right when you got home from school. This show's on right when you hit 4 o'clock, whatever you're doing. 4 to 5, hang out with us, finish off the day strong. And this is really cool. So,
We haven't talked about
Gentlemen.
a thing yet.
this is called setting up the show. We're just
Yeah.
starting. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
good.
fine.
We
I
didn't
got
talk
nothing
about
but
math.
time.
Yeah, this is great.
Louis,
Yeah, you got
by
a
the way,
kid?
we're going out for supper tonight.
Where do you want to go? Why does he look upset? You don't like going out for supper? Dude,
Wow.
Sarah must be a hell of
He
a
likes
cook.
his figure. Watching his
so,
figure.
So do I.
Oh
So,
my God.
you guys heard about Joe Rogan, right?
I
You
heard
got a
about him.
podcast? Joe Rogan?
Oh,
Sure.
okay,
He's
yeah.
got a big one, right?
Like the biggest in the world.
Like
Yeah.
12 inches.
hmm If you were to compare on that numeric system, yeah. I figure that's about right.
Right.
He's,
12
he's a
inch
real,
podcast.
he's a real showstopper.
He's the full ruler.
Yeah, absolutely, all the way. Maybe he's one of those yardsticks.
No, that's gross.
That's what's gross. That's the line. Okay, good
What
job.
has Mr. Rogan done? You mean the host of Fear Factor?
That's the one.
Okay.
And newsroom.
When he had hair, yeah.
Newsroom. He was a sports guy in newsroom. I
Yeah,
think it was.
that's right. Good
Yeah.
one.
Thank you.
And he's a stand-up comedian where he
That's right.
borrowed. He just borrowed other comedians' material.
This might be the whole show because there's so much to talk about from this performance, and it's going to make sense to you right away here.
Can't wait. Are we watching a video?
No,
I wish
wasn't sure about
I wish
copyrights.
Coach One was here because I was gonna say I'm less. Oh, my joke's failing. Hold on.
wait
hold
for
on.
it. There's
I'm
no
less
way this is going to suck.
Rogun and more Ray Gun.
Oh,
Took me a
nice.
I got there. I got there.
I think Coach One is it? What would it be like if you had a girlfriend and she was a podcast, but you went and saw a different podcast? Would that be two timing? I think he's
Two-timing,
on a
cheating,
different
cheating.
podcast right now.
He's probably on a different
He's on a
podcast.
different podcast.
I bet he is.
right now. He is.
Yeah, classic. So Adam Curry, have you ever
Looks
heard
like a
the name?
detective,
Have you
like a real detective. or
have you
something.
have you ever heard the name Adam Curry? Former MTV host,
Steph Curry?
So,
had really good hair.
No.
He was like the OG podcaster, like 20, 25 years ago. he started podcasting before anyone, did it. Like he was one of like the OOGs.
When you were still blogging, he was podcasting.
Exactly.
Nice.
Remember those days?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this guy's huge, and he's doing a bunch of stuff. And they get talking, him and Joe, talking about, first off, about how Joe Rogan, like Adam Curry called Joe Rogan iron. He says, he's wearing a shirt called Iron Sharpens Iron. And he says, what you do, Joe, is you bring people in here and you put a spotlight on what they're doing. You go out and you find the young comedians and young podcasters, people trying to do good things, and you sharpen them. You help bring them up. And I'm like, that sort of sounds like what we're doing. And then, and make no mistake, we're not trying to compare ourselves to Joe Rogan here. It's just this it was like one of those coincidences, like everything else, universal signs.
Mm.
So he starts talking about how he built the Mothership, which is his comedy club in Austin, which is like the headquarters of comedy for the world. Like comedy is literally based out of Austin now because of all the comics that come through, and they all do their own shows there, and it's like the new hub. And Adam's talking to him about building the Mothership. And Joe Rogan says the words, I don't even feel like I did anything. I was just sort of the conduit for this. And then all of a sudden I looked around and it was there. Like I didn't even feel like I built it. He's talking about universal signs and following these things and doing good things, treating people how you want to be treated. And all of a sudden he's got this incredible club. And it's like, well, that's sort of like this place. And then they get into, and this is where it pays off. So up to that point, it's like, man, I'm hearing a lot of things that are very similar to what we're doing here. Then they go on to say the future of not podcasting, but content and entertainment is local. He says, I want to see local people starting their own local podcasts, dare I say a network with their own advertising baked in so it's not going through all the big dogs. It's sort of like a reset for bringing this back to something that's not only affordable, but something that's enjoyable. And he says, and he used the exact words, hyper-local. He says, I want to see hyper-local networks with numerous shows advertising in their cities because everything's national. There's nothing local. Everything we've been saying here since the start, this dude went on there and said them all of them. So in my head,
Do we sue him?
no, it's
Okay,
way
good.
opposite of that. So in my head, right before about a couple hours ago, I sent him an email saying, hey, heard you on Joe Rogan. And again, this is guys like just on Joe Rogan. Said, hey, heard you on the show there, and you're talking about hyper-local networks and podcasting and advertising. And I said, that's literally what we're doing here. We sort of have the blueprint for that, and I think it's really cool that you're letting people know that's important. And I sent him the website and the YouTube, and that was it. I was like, well, obviously I'll never hear from this guy, but I might as well do something. An hour later, there's an email from Adam Curry, who was just on Joe Rogan, saying, hey, Gary, love the network. And then he says, especially the, and then in brackets, sponsored Maggie Cam. You guys get it. Thanks for the email.
Very cool.
Huge.
You know what?
That's awesome.
Out of nowhere.
That's
I want
great.
to
What a
say,
day.
hey, I want to have chills with you, but I can't get past how you say iron.
Iron?
You say iron like you're Tarzan.
Iron?
Iron.
How do you say iron?
Iron.
Iron.
Yeah, iron. And
So
you
it's
say
like
when
the
you say
ire?
stuff, iron, you say iron, and you have say it very Darth Vader.
Would you say it's a hard R?
Yeah, like it's very
Iron.
beautiful.
Iron.
Sorry, what
I
did
don't
you
know how
say?
to say it. Iron.
What was this? Who's this Curry guy again?
Of
Adam
all
Curry.
the things to take the wind out of that sail, Gary, I'm very excited for you. Excited for us. That's a huge compliment.
Isn't that wild?
Congratulations.
To have a guy go on the biggest podcast in the world
And then
and talk about something that
Yeah.
he sees as the future of what they're doing, and then to think to myself, well, that's exactly to a T, right down to the term hyper-local.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing. And then to have him respond to it.
Sweet.
That's incredible.
Amazing.
Yeah, and this like that guy's
And then
been-
he wanted to be on the show, and you said, "No, sorry, you're too national."
Sorry.
Sorry, we only do local.
Coach Comma
Yeah.
2 is in today. We got no room, bro.
We only do local. I
You heard
apologize.
of
He loves the
Curtis
way I
Anderson?
say iron.
But you want to talk about knowing you're on the right path. And they were
Yeah.
talking about that too, being on the right path, the importance of doing good things and helping your community and helping each other grow. Everything. I was very, very proud of all of us. That was awesome. That's how we started here. Where are we
probably
going
what
now?
happened. He's like, Gary, sounds like you got a lot of pokers in the what's the word? And he was like, iron, and then he hung up on you.
That was good.
Nice.
That's a good one.
All right.
Are we, is
Thank
this
you.
is this just going to be
appreciate it.
iron humor now?
Iron. No, you know what? The first time I heard you say "I run" was when we were
When I run.
when we were reading my uncle's thing. And
Mm.
just your cadence and the way you speak, I love it, Gary. But just there's that one word in it. I would say that it messed me up for the rest of it because you just were like hitting, and I'm like, I don't hit my words the way you hit them. You know what I mean?
Iron.
Iron.
Isn't it ironic?
Don't
Isn't
you
it
think?
ironic?
Don't you think?
Too ironic.
She was a
I
great
love
performer.
her.
Where did I see her
love
perform?
Alanis.
Recently on a highlight. Was it the
He's
Grammys
attacking
or something?
Simon. Tell me now.
I don't know.
Alanis Morissette just performed somewhere. Someone out there knows where, and you watched it. It was unbelievable. Like it's almost that we should play a clip. If not, say Alanis Morissette, 2025
Quick
February.
Google, where did
Let
Coach
us know.
see
Where
Alanis
did I
Morissette
see?
perform?
Can you help me out here?
His
Where are
name
you-
is
why are you
Phenom.
running?
His hand is
He
Phenom.
shut the
hand.
blinds.
The hand, the
Interesting.
hand just closed.
There's a musical now about.
Yeah,
Jagged
I wanted to
Little
go
Pill.
see
yeah.
that. I
Listen
heard
to
that was
maybe?
awesome.
I've heard
Maybe.
good things about it.
But she performed right after someone else that was garbage. Like someone was just so
Not the band garbage.
not the
Not
band
Shirley
garbage,
Manson?
but just like
Dun, 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 dun,
there was
dun.
a little bit of auto tune and then a little bit of just singing to your own track. You know what I mean? So that you sound good, and then doing a bunch of dance. Then Alanis gets on stage and just absolutely crushed it.
She'll do that.
She will do it.
Dude, she's so sweet.
She's
Jagged Little Pill.
Canadian.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we
You
go.
can't do that on
Cat-
television.
What's that?
Hold on. Fire Aid.
It was Fire Aid.
Yes.
Fire Aid.
Yeah,
Good one.
it was.
You
No
know.
offense to the Fire Aid, it was trash up until
Wow.
Alanis took the stage.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I can
Strong-
say that.
Yeah,
That's fine.
Yeah, you're allowed.
I'm allowed an opinion.
If absolutely.
Louis,
Louis.
my son, if I ever give you advice, and you want to listen one time, have an opinion, okay, and stand by that opinion. I love you very much.
One more.
He
One more
already
on
said
that.
he didn't want to go for supper. I mean, that's
That's true. We're not going in.
Third rule.
NW.
Sponsor us. Don't push your opinion on others. We throw that in there. I'm real
Yeah,
sick
did
of
I
that.
push my opinion on
No,
it?
not at all.
I did kind of
we are-
say
no, we're-
Alanis was so good you should watch it.
No, that's not pushing your opinion. That's just talking about what
kind
you
of.
think. Either way, I do want to, as fun as the, like, how is that 22 minutes? How did we just do 22 minutes like that? That's wild, eh?
I don't know. We should give our guests a chance to speak.
I was going to
Otherwise-
say Simon did dress up for this.
In honor of a very special day.
Tell us more, young man.
First game of spring training action tomorrow afternoon, 2 o'clock local time. Cubs and Dodgers.
I was going to say, and that's like the first.
Who's on the
first-
bumpity bump?
First?
It's typical early spring training game. It's
Right.
one of the relief pitchers who we picked up in
Look at this guy every time.
in the off season.
I'm still listening.
Whose name I can't actually even
Spring
bring to
training.
the fore.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even be able to look it up, I don't think, because sometimes they don't even post it on
They might have it. Now.
Is-
these apps that we
Is that the
use.
official first game?
First game of spring training?
Love it.
tomorrow.
Okay. So that's kicking everything off. Now, do we know if we have Lamphy down at Dunedin?
Oh, Cody Poteet going for the Cubs.
Oh, yeah.
Petite.
Yoshinobu Yamamoto going for the Dodgers. They're
Oh,
actually
really?
putting one of their 19,000 great starting pitchers on the mound.
He will pitch maybe an inning.
Maybe an inning, maybe
Yeah.
two.
Yeah.
Man.
So, but
Depending
you know
on
what's
how it
funny? What
goes.
I hear that
I got him in my draft.
and this
Yamamoto,
just in,
so,
they've been
yeah.
posting that pitchers are ahead of the hitters, obviously, because they show up a little bit earlier and get
Yep.
ready. But the pitchers are ready to go 4, 5, 6 innings already. Back in the day, they would show up to spring training. They would do a little bit of off-season training, obviously, but they
Smoke,
wouldn't
drink,
start.
smoke,
Yeah,
drink, chew,
exactly.
Eat.
They wouldn't start really getting after it until spring training. So
That's
they
true,
go and
yeah.
play a game or two. They only want to go an inning or
Yep.
two. These guys could jump right in. The season could start now.
Whew, hot take. I like that.
It could.
Do we have Mr. Lamferman down? Did he go this year? Did we check?
He's going. I don't know when.
He is going? Okay. I figure we should line up a Zoom with him.
That'd be great.
No,
No,
team member, former Bobcat, former Cardinal, current
Ballpark
Rhino.
side Zoom
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
sure.
Accidentally get some action in the background? We weren't looking.
I wasn't
can't
gonna look.
copyright
I
us,
was
yeah.
looking at
Dude,
Lamphy in his Rhino
I'm
jersey.
just zooming with my friends.
Lamphy wears his
following
Rhino
fly balls.
jerseys. Our
excellent.
Our rec team.
rec team or our men's league team. He wears our jerseys to the
To the-
ballpark.
Beautiful.
It's so
in
sweet.
Dunedin.
So
Very
we gotta
sweet.
line that up. That's gonna be our next big get.
All right.
We're gonna go live
Do you want
from
me to-
Jay's.
Do you want me to message him right now, live?
Well, you don't have to do it right now. You can if you want. I figured like you're going to. If I know you at all, you're going to anyway.
I'm gonna talk to these ones.
This is good. These ones. Okay. Next order of business. Big day tomorrow. Spring training coming in hot. Very excited. The Cubbies gonna win the World Series. For
Yeah.
Simon, very pumped. Curtis, you got a little bit roasted last week during this all the way around table.
I didn't feel roasted at all.
No.
I was like the exact opposite of roasted.
Well,
I
okay.
had more time when I wasn't there than I've ever had actually here. I
Roasted-
wasn't here. Simon said one thing about wrestling. You guys talked about wrestling for 20 minutes. I was talked about being a good gift giver. I was sitting at home watching this morning, just like glowing. Talked about Phenom and how he's a good kid, and talked about my daughter running track. I don't know where you got the idea that you guys were roasting me. You suck at roasting if you thought it was like it was like my-
Roast was the wrong word.
yeah, absolutely. No, it was I was
Toast.
Thank
I
you.
think Toasted.
Thank you for those
Toasted?
kind words when I wasn't there.
Yeah, like I think the idea in my head where it could sort of be a roasty-esque situation was because we were doing all of the things that you would
Yeah,
ever want to do.
talk about, yeah.
And that was sort of it. We were like doing it without you, so it felt like we were dissing
Fair enough. It was
That's what I
funny
meant.
though. It was like coffee and wrestling.
your
That's
specialties. Your
that's
specialties.
like it.
It could be the subtitle of Curtis's autobiography.
There it is.
It's my
Coffee and wrestling.
the two words on my tombstone.
How angry were you before Uncle Browno came in and saved the day on Bret Hart's title win?
It was a flurry of misinformation.
Not here. We would
Oh
never.
my god.
No.
Simon just ducked out. Was like, all right, well, maybe. It's like, no.
I'm the guy who said Bowden Francis is like 21 years old. He's about to join AARP, I
We-
guess.
We were so off on our ages for that
I was
starting at
shocked.
5, starting 6. Yeah.
I was
But for your
disappointed.
wrestling stuff, Simon pitched it right across the plate, and then it was
Nice
just
reference.
like foul ball from the rest of you. It was like, I think they went to Regina and reshot it. They didn't. Who do you?
It was
None
a
of that happened.
No, you misunderstood. They had another. Wasn't there another show? Because I had some friends that went to a similar show, like the next, maybe it was Winnipeg, also wasn't televised, and they pretty much did the same thing minus.
The title change?
Minus the
well,
title
that's
change.
a typical house show circuit.
Yeah,
You're
it was
going to
a
have the
house show.
same.
I
This
wasn't
is a
saying- I
time
thought-
before the internet, so you couldn't.
Yeah.
They would go from city to city for like 30 cities and have the exact same match every night
Right.
because you couldn't communicate with each other.
They
as you can.
also would never eat in restaurants together.
Yeah.
Kayfabe is very real.
Yeah.
You could not see the rivals being buddies.
It's funny about this house show is what's funny about it is because it's literally like the line between the late 80s like Hulk Hogan, Honky Tonk Man, Jake the Snake, that era that had all those young fans. Then they fired everyone because he was under the steroid scandal. So they got rid of all the muscular guys from the 80s and they suddenly overnight, and it just happened to be in Saskatoon. They're like, we got to get the title off these muscle guys, even though at the time it was Ric Flair, but Ric Flair was trying to leave. So it was just like, we got to do this tonight. Where are we? We're in Saskatoon. So all the big muscle guys are gone. Ric Flair's gone. We're focusing now on the younger athletic guys who are not on steroids. And it just happened to be in Saskatoon. And nobody that watched wrestling back in the late 80s cares about anything really that happened past that day, because that was kind of like the line. So no one that watched wrestling in the mid to late 90s and beyond was like at that show, because it was like very few wrestling fans aged that, or
Yeah,
like
that trajectory.
what kept going after
Yeah.
Bret Hart won in 92. So it's funny because of course Simon was there. You probably never watched wrestling again after that.
Not really, no.
Right?
My
He
friend,
picks the good ones.
Yeah, but it makes sense. Like
Yeah,
none of my
100%.
wrestling fan friends who were like
Yeah.
live and died in the 90s saw that show, because that was kind of before our time. That was when it was still
110%.
on the fumes of the Hulk Hogan brother, and that
Ugh.
wasn't what we grew up with.
My good friend Scott Hawley, well-known local basketball figure, he was a big wrestling fan. So
I thought you said Scott Hall.
Yeah, I was like,
oh no,
I thought that was going to be an Undertaker went to Walter Murray type.
oh, don't even get me started.
Okay, so
Urban
one other
legends.
thing that happened that night at the show is, as I recall it, Miss Elizabeth
Sure,
got
yeah.
smashed with the mirror. Is that a thing?
Whoa.
Close. Sensational Sherry.
Oh,
Did that happen in Saskatoon?
Yes. So that's what I was going to ask. Did that happen at all these other shows where they repeated the
Probably not, because she got cut up in that. I remember that story too.
I had no idea that it was shot in
pretty
Saskatoon.
sure.
How would he?
Okay,
He's
what
been right about
happened?
everything else.
Shawn Michaels was flexing in the ring, and Sensational Sherry had the giant mirror. It was a heart mirror.
Yeah.
And then Marty Jannetty, who Shawn threw through the barbershop window like a year ago,
R.I.P.
finally made his return because they used to be a tag team and they broke up. And Shawn
Not
shocked him.
the tag team, bro. The Rockers.
And that was like the
Rockers?
return of Marty Jannetty. He had been gone for like a year, and he hopped out of the crowd wearing the sweetest GNR shirt I've ever seen in my life. And he grabs this mirror, and it's like payback because Shawn threw him through a window, so he's going to smash Shawn over the head with a mirror. Stay with me, Coach Kamatu. This is a great wrestling story, okay? So Marty Jannetty's got this mirror, and he's waving it, and the crowd's going nuts. He's going to smash it over Shawn Michaels' head. And then as he swings, Shawn pulls his female manager in front, and Marty Jannetty smashes the mirror over Sensational Sherry's head, which is just like, absolute bad guy heel move.
Great
I had no
spot.
idea that actually happened in Saskatoon.
I'm pretty sure it did. I
That's
believe
crazy.
it was also the night Yokozuna
Yeah.
made his debut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
These are the things I remember. Man,
That's
I remember.
incredible.
Yokozuna is not Japanese.
No, he's not.
Samoan.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
He's part of
Which-
the Samoan
Whoa,
Whoa,
dynasty.
whoa, whoa! Are you saying they played around with the races in the WWF?
Yes, they did.
I find it hard to believe.
I saw an interview with like the Usos talking about how when they were little and they heard their uncle was going to be on wrestling, so they all tuned in, and then he came out Japanese, and they're like, "Are we Japanese?"
Yeah.
Because they were like 9,
And they
they're
went
like,
to
"What?"
school, and everyone was like, "You're Japanese. You're not Samoan." They're like, "No, we are Samoan."
The first time I saw Sunny was in Regina in a house show, and she came out, and after a whole card of all these heels being like, "All you idiots in Regina," which is really funny, right?
Of course.
She came out and she was like, "All right, all you fat, ugly people from Regina," and we were all like, "Woo!"
She said it right.
And how can you boost Sunny anyways, right? Like
Well, later you could. That's
Well,
for
yeah.
sure. Yeah, but at the
At the
time,
time.
she was the most
downloaded girl in AOL history
Yeah.
in like the late 90s. Yeah,
in history.
you can't boo her.
Sunny.
Yeah.
Tammy Stitch.
I remember Sunny was popular right when Wall Street Sports was really popular. You would have
Probably.
played Wall Street Sports.
No, I don't know that
No.
one. No.
So that was like internet just existed, and it was a website where you could buy stock in players. So Tiger Woods just making the scene, so you could Tiger Woods for $1, and you had a budget, and you'd buy stock in Tiger Woods, and then as more and more people would buy him because he became popular, his value increased. And I just remember that being sitting in Aiden Bowman. You don't know Wall Street Sports?
No.
Sitting in Aiden Bowman Library, a couple buddies playing this, and then looking at my friend's computer, and he's just looking at images of Sunny, and I was just like,
I see where this is going.
yeah, I don't know. You should not do that. We should
You're not supposed to browse the most downloaded woman of the year inside the library.
However,
Okay, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
You
No,
were saying,
no.
however, for you.
You're saying best tag team of all time, and like a massive split up. My team was Rick Martel, Tito Martinez.
Santana.
Tino Martinez, former first baseman for
Thank
the
you.
Mariners and the Yankees.
I'm a baseball guy.
Yeah.
Which would have been a better
They
tag
both
team,
brothers.
to be
It
honest.
would have been.
They were good for a
Yeah.
bit. Didn't they have the lightning bolts on the white trunks? Those guys.
It
And
was
then
before
they
Bret Hart
split.
won the world title
And
at
then
SaskTel Center. I don't know, man.
And then Rick Martel became like
Rick the Model Martel.
the
baby.
model, right? Like the
What was
new
it,
ravishing
Essence?
Rick Rude.
What was his stuff that he would always spray? Rick the Model.
Arrogance.
Arrogance. Yeah.
Thank
And
you.
he sprayed in people's
Man,
faces.
how
That
many
was awesome.
blind matches did that guy have? Because he's spraying everybody in the eyes. That was his
Last time I was in California, I was buying some Disney merchandise.
thing. Not you.
And I went to the lady at the counter, and she was ringing it up, and then we were chatting, and she stops and goes, "I can tell exactly where you're from." And I said, "Really?" And she's like, "Well, yeah, you're Canadian." And I was like, "Wow, I didn't even know I had an accent." She's like, "Yeah, you definitely, all Canadians have an accent." She goes, "Where are you from?" And I was like, "Saskatoon." She goes, "Where Bret Hart won the world title."
Nice.
And I was like,
Yeah. Marry
just
me.
kidding. I was like, what are the chances?
But that talks about how big it was, right?
I know, right?
That's it. That was
My
one
other, can I? We'll stop talking wrestling after this. But this is my other story of that house show in Regina. That
I'm
Sunny
Curtis Avatar today.
Sunny knew how to say Regina. So the main event, $1 Million Corporation,
Ooh. Who's in there? Virgil?
Sid
Psycho
versus
Sid?
Bret Hart. Bret Hart's your champion.
Okay.
$1 Million Corporation. Sid versus Bret Hart. Okay,
Okay.
I'm there with my friends. We drove down, take the
course.
show in Regina. The row in front of us, it must have been like a group home. These probably 6 or 7 gentlemen with disabilities, nicest guys ever. We're chatting back and forth. You know, we're here to see Bret Hart. We're all big Bret Hart. We're cheering Bret. You know, they're my boys.
Of course.
Bret Hart rolls up the $1 Million Man's protege, Sid, pins him 1, 2, 3. We all jump to our feet, and I kid you not, this row of 6 or 7 gentlemen start pulling out $5 and $10 bills, crumpling them up, and throwing them over the balcony below. Because to stick it to the $1 Million
no, I
Man.
get it. I understand why.
And the people are like, "Oh no, guys, no!" And I just was
jumping.
like, what would the people below be thinking when suddenly it starts raining money after Bret Hart beats Psycho Sid?
Money,
What a,
money,
you know,
money,
as surreal as it was for us
money.
to watch that, it was like, what
That's
are the people
crazy.
below us thinking?
Did you see how
Dude.
excited I got when Tino Martinez's name came up?
Okay, talk baseball. I'm out.
At some point, we should tell the story of the first time you went to California, because that's also a good story.
First time I flew.
Are we? Are
Curtis-
we?
Curtis-
That's a whole nother.
That's
A whole nother.
That'll take an hour to tell.
Well, I will reset because I'm a professional. And if you don't believe me, I got a card to prove it. Look at that.
We don't need them.
Look at that. 2001,
Western
2002.
Academy?
Western Academy Broadcasting. I was enrolled. It doesn't say graduated. Oh, nice work, Phenom. It doesn't say graduated, but it just says enrolled because I didn't actually graduate. I failed miserably, and then I got placed in Rosetown. So technically, that's my ID to tell you that I can do this.
What's Canada's meeting podcast?
Hanging out with the boys on the All the Way Around table, minus the All the Way Around table. We got Simon Hyatt in the house. We have from the OK Bloomer, soon to be released, host, also host of Strip Down, Curtis Anderson, media network mogul,
Hey.
Coach, 2. And we got Louie over here. We got Phenom on the 1s and 2s, and we got a contact at Dufferin Ave. You know what's really fun about this one? Matt from all the bands. He's been doing the elevator and like the row your boat. He's doing like one of these. Going there like, oh, look at that. Look at the time. And go down. It doesn't really work when you're outside of it. But it's a classic setup for a lot of gag moves. And it's got an email contact on it, which is very cool. We also have a website right here. You can check out Royal Anders made that. And I'm going to go like this and that.
No, other way.
Like that. That's
Yeah.
the one. Get out of here. That is so fun.
Do you have that connected to a
That's how you
string,
can,
or how
talk
did you
to
do
us.
that?
A true magician never spills the beans.
They might,
Nailed
if that's
it.
part of the trick.
Well, they wouldn't tell you they did.
All right.
That's the one. A little bit back into baseball because I want Simon to have some mic time here.
Right.
He did dress up for the occasion.
I've had so much mic time last
You
week.
deserve
It's
it
so
all,
great
though,
to
my
have
friend.
Curtis back.
Both you guys deserve all the mic time. That's what I'm saying. This place is only as good as its people, and that's why this place is so great because we got so much talent around here, including when it comes to baseball. Now, we're just going to dive right into this one because I know Coach Mazur's been all over Twitter chirping every single expert out there that's trying to talk about the Vladdy situation. It's hilarious. Follow him, Armies of Darkness, on the Twitter. That's the only time I'll ever
that
tell
my thing?
anyone to follow
Is that my thing?
because he's so good. That's your handle.
No.
He's been throwing out the hot takes like beans at a magic show.
Nice. I don't know. You know what would be interesting?
What's that?
Beans and
Wait for it.
pancakes. Is that what the thing was about?
No.
Hot cakes? Isn't that what
Hot
hot cakes
takes?
are?
Hot takes.
Oh, hot takes.
Hot cakes or pancakes?
We should go get pancakes, Louis.
There it is.
You guys should do a morning show called Hot Cakes and Hot Takes, where you just eat pancakes from like 6 to 8 every morning and just like drop truth bombs.
Vladdy Guerrero got screwed again. No, the hot take would be get rid of the management in Toronto. I'm trying really hard not to freak out, but I'm so sick of this garbage. You got Mr. Atkins coming out saying we were very close, and then you got Vladdy coming out and saying, no, we weren't. In case, I guess I should set it up by saying Vladimir Guerrero had a deadline to re-sign, and the deadline passed without a re-signing. The Blue Jays say we were so close, we had him, and he's laughing all the way to the dugout, saying no, it wasn't even a conversation. Thoughts on Vladdy Guerrero, starting with Simon?
All right, fine.
I know you're gonna go. I have a feeling. I've read all your rants on the Twitters. I know your stand. What's going on?
Well, I think it's maybe, one of the things we've seen this offseason during the hot stove season, the price tag for not necessarily athletic first basemen who don't necessarily age super well has gone way down. Like, look what Pete Alonso dealt with this offseason.
Polar Bear got polar screwed.
And look at guys like Anthony Rizzo, who's unsigned.
One of your guys.
There's, I love Rizzo so much. Won't have to talk about that.
Yeah, sorry, I shouldn't have brought it up.
No, it's fine. I do think the Blue Jays should sign him. I think who knows exactly what the numbers were because I don't think those have really been announced.
He would
Can't
not
trust them. Well, I know the numbers that were suggested,
yeah,
but
but
who
nothing
knows what
concrete.
they're-
Yeah, that's fair.
there's nothing
Yeah.
real.
It's a real shame.
So you're saying that this is more of a position thing than a Vladdy thing.
I think it's a lot of money to invest in a. This is kind of the way the market's going with
Interesting.
big first baseman. And I know Vladdy is younger and probably better than say Pete Alonso.
Well, not only that, he's versatile. Like they can run him out
He
at
can play
third, they
passable
can
third.
DH. Yeah, like,
Yeah, absolutely.
you're in a pinch, he's got you.
Yeah, he's
You know?
better than Pete Alonso, but I don't know if he's looking for Juan Soto's contract or something approaching that. I don't think anyone's giving him that.
No, I think it's who knows what it is. The rumor was 485 over 13 years, and whatever that maths out to be, like 40 million a year.
Math man, anyone? No.
Get your wife on the
Call
phone.
my wife.
But yeah, that's a lot of money.
It is.
But okay, here's a totally unrelated question. Well, math man
No, maybe
does
it's
his thing.
585 divided 13.
How come we
so
never
that's the
acknowledge
one.
his Canadian citizenship? How come
You
no one ever
remember
talks about that?
when he won the whatever year it was he when he won the home run derby?
Yeah,
And the graphic came up on screen saying first Cuban to ever win the
that's what I
Not
mean.
Cuban.
Like
Cuban.
Dominican.
Oh,
No, it said
Is it
Cuban.
Oh, it did.
Yeah.
So it got
no, that
double
was a
wrong.
different. That was who wrote. That was Fox.
I think it
Or
was
some-
Fox. Yeah,
yeah.
whoever had the home run derby. I was
But, like,
wait a minute.
how
There's
come-
a lot wrong with that.
How has Canada not claimed Vladdy as a Canadian
Born in
citizen?
Montreal.
Because he hasn't claimed them back. He was wanted to play for the Dominican. Same thing. Like,
No, I get that.
but he wants to. He loves his dad. He said he wants to play on a winning team. He wants to win a World Series. He wants to get a ring, and he wants to give it to his father, who didn't get to win a World Series. So same thing. His dad's Dominican. He grew up playing there. He wants to represent
Yeah.
the DR on the national stage. Same. Freddie Freeman plays for Canada. Wasn't born in Canada, but his mother
Mother
is
was,
Canadian.
yeah.
Or parents
He
are
is.
both Canadian, but
Yeah.
they lived in the States. He's
I get all
And
that.
also-
It's
yeah.
just maybe it's the luster of Canadian players in Major League Baseball. Like there was a time not too long ago where you could name them all in one hand, and we all knew them because we were Canadian baseball fans and we cheered for our Canadian guys.
Jason
There it
Bay.
is. We could go all the way down that stairs. Oh, but we won't. So, is there any just because of what you said, like nobody wants? I want to understand why we're not hugging him and saying, "Hey, he's one of us. He's a Canadian." It's because he was only born here and then didn't last long. Like how long was he? How long was Vladdy Senior in Montreal for? You remember?
7 years, I think. 7.
So he spent time growing up in Canada. He was born in
Definitely.
Canada.
Yeah.
The only time we ever hear him being Canadian, again, going back to the All-Star games, when they put up a Canadian flag, they won't even say Canada. They just have a Canadian flag beside his name because they want to show you nationalities. I don't understand why. And the reason I bring that up is because, easy there, cowboy.
What is that?
The reason I bring that up is that might factor in as well to Toronto saying we want to keep a Canadian guy on a Canadian team. And that doesn't, no one even talks about that at all. Like,
You're
it's
right.
not, it's a non-factor.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. I was told when I left Rogers that it was because they wanted to free up my money
That's
to
the one.
give
That's the
to
one.
Vlad. And so now I just don't even know what to think.
Well, you know what they do? They free it all up and then they say just jokes and keep it.
Yeah.
If we've learned anything from Soto or Shohei. So it'll be interesting how that all plays out. But
What's 2003 minus 1996?
oh,
7.
Nailed it.
Nice. Well done.
Thanks.
man, now I feel extra non-mathematic.
I was about to take my socks off.
Count your toes.
That's what we do. That's what we do. What else are we seeing in the baseball as it is inching ever closer? And before we get to the end of the show, we've got to talk about tomorrow night's hockey game.
Yeah.
Continue.
So
You got something, Coach?
go ahead.
Automatic balls and strike system going to be debuting in spring training.
This is
in
exciting.
select locations at a ballpark near you, possibly.
How many years have they done it in the minors?
It's been I don't know
Just
exactly. It's been a
last
few
year.
years.
More than one, though.
I
yeah.
believe this year it's going to be at every AAA stadium. A lot of the infrastructure isn't in place at lower levels.
Yeah.
And you're going to see it in Arizona at 5 of the ballparks, is what I understand, for Cactus.
Yeah.
All of the ballparks where the facilities are shared by 2 teams are going to have it,
Nice.
so they can use it in as many games as
course.
possible. And then in Florida, I think wherever teams have a Florida complex league team,
Okay.
because they already sort of have that infrastructure.
That's
in place.
crazy.
Have you watched it in place?
A little bit, yep.
So is the call being relayed to the umpire?
Nope. Umpire's still calling balls and strikes. The only thing that's new is that you get 2 challenges per game. So if a batter
Right.
gets a called strike and he doesn't like it, taps the head. It's pretty quick.
Yeah.
Umpire steps out, says the batter is challenging the call of a strike. It goes up on the big board, and you see it kind of like in tennis, where you see like the graphic.
The spot on
And
the
so
robot.
it's like there is no debate. If it catches a sliver of the strike zone, it's a strike. If it doesn't, it's a ball.
So this is the first step to robo umps, is what we're doing.
Yeah,
think-
I don't know how much more of a step we'll take in that direction.
I
think
hope
this-
you're right.
Before you said that, I was going to say that's actually really cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's
I
a
don't-
good call.
I don't know. This one.
He's challenging your call.
F
That's
off.
all right.
He's
You know what I
challenging.
mean? Like if I'm the umpire, F right off. Seriously.
But
And
I
then
mean-
you know how they get so testy and they're so particular and
Yeah.
but for that I'm on the side of the umpire. I would rather earpiece, and if they can see it so quickly, if it's like that, someone should be able to strike ball. You do that thing, you're there to call safe out. You're the close calls, you're still there, and for the history and tradition of the game, you have a live umpire, but he should be getting help there, or just like someone should be in the air, just in his ear, saying, "Hey, Bill, your zone, you're a little
Bill-
bit off. You need to, you know what I mean? Like he
Bill
should
is such an
be
up-name.
better."
See, with
I-
that, like the setup, just so everyone knows, we're talking about the
Baseball.
robotic balls and strikes. They put the zone, like when you're watching, they put it on the TV. That's sort of like the custom zone. And the idea here is that nothing really changes by the sounds of it, except they just have the option and they have the proof. So
Yeah.
you've never been able to challenge balls and strikes.
And I
Makes
think
them accountable. I kind of like that because
Yes,
like
it's-
if you're going to know real quick who sucks as an umpire.
Well, that's the problem
It's
now
already
is
out there.
it's,
You already
they
know.
actually
You
have
already know.
stats on all the umps.
Yeah.
Oh,
They
wow,
keep track
okay.
of like their strike zones, how big they are, how many calls they hit, how many
Their
calls they miss,
percentage.
percentage, and that's how they decide World Series, I believe, don't they?
big part
Playoff
of it,
umpires,
that
yeah,
seniority is a big part of it for sure.
yeah.
I
that's
think
it.
one of the things that's going to come out of it is we're going to realize how good umpires are.
I've always like to get to like
they
everybody
have
else to
gotten
get to that
so
level.
much better historically.
Yeah,
Like look back, remember the '97 World Series where Eric Gregg is calling Orlando Hernandez is on the hill and he's calling strikes like that are
Oh,
this
yeah,
far out of
yeah.
the zone.
Just to shove it up.
Yeah,
Yeah, just
exactly.
to show them up.
yeah.
This is a real question. I'm not trying to be facetious.
Prove it.
So,
Never trust him when he says
so,
that.
Yeah,
You say
Who?
with the million like upper deck trading card series that come out each week, do you get umpires with their stats?
that would be sick.
I don't think you get stats, but we
The
did
umpire
used to get. I think
series.
Upper
There
Deck
were
used to have
umpire
umpire
cards at
cards
one
for
point,
sure.
yeah.
That'd
Yeah,
be cool.
that'd be awesome. They have their stats.
This, hey, good umpire. This guy right here.
Oh.
Yeah.
Very
wanna
good
come up? You wanna
umpire.
come up?
Calls
the
it right
Final
down
Five
the
show?
line.
No, man, he's
Very
always
good.
so pumped to be on the Zoom at your house, but he doesn't want to come up here. Hey?
What's kind of funny is the guy who had the reputation for being the absolute best umpire, balls and strikes, was the guy who just got suspended because he got mixed up
Gambled.
in a gambling thing.
Wow. Doesn't mean
There's
you're
no
a bad
proof
umpire.
there's no proof that he was doing anything illegal, but
But why share an account?
why?
That was
yeah.
pretty messy.
Why
Very
delete
weird.
all your texts?
There's a
to-
lot of-
yeah.
A lot of guilty maneuvers
Yeah.
done by them.
Guilty maneuvers.
Guilty maneuvers. That'd be a great
Good
band
band
name.
name.
No,
Yeah.
no, not
No?
band.
No?
That would be a great faction in like a wrestling
Yeah.
group. that
No.
Guilty Maneuvers is like a 1989 thriller you'd get for like 7 days, $7 from Family
Nice.
Video with like who's the guy that always wore the duster? The,
Oh,
the one
man.
actor. They always make fun of him
Richard
and Always
Grieco?
Sunny. Sure,
Tom
Richard
Selleck.
Grieco.
Richard
is
Grieco!
he's one away from the guy I'm thinking of. Mario, someone.
Lopez.
No,
Damn it.
Lamont. No. He was in a
Lorenzo
whole-
Lamas?
Sure. Is that?
That
I
might
don't
be
know.
one. I know that
Is
name.
he a action star? He was in like
Yeah.
every action movie in the 80s for like 4 years, and he always wore a duster.
Interesting.
Could
I
be.
really
What's a
want to know who this
duster?
is.
Like
Dude,
a-
it's like a long
it's like a
leather coat.
Inspector Gadget trench coat.
Oh,
Yeah.
They're pretty
Duster,
sweet.
I think, is a mustache. So I was
Also
thinking of,
works.
like Tom
Also
Selleck and
works.
stuff.
Saskatoon's own Shannon Tweed was definitely in whatever that movie was. that they
Yes.
Came
Yeah.
up with.
Yes.
What was the
100%.
name?
I don't know.
Whatever it was, that movie was
Whatever.
followed coming
Just
up right
rewind
afterwards.
2 minutes. Whatever we were saying
Whatever we were
over
saying.
Got
and
it.
over
Shannon
again.
Tweed was definitely in
I
that.
got it.
Guilty maneuvers.
Guilty maneuvers.
Yes.
Guilty Maneuvers followed by Wild Things.
Oh,
Yes.
But that's a
Shannon
real movie.
Tweed did not stay
I thought
fully
we were-
dressed during that movie.
Wild Things?
No.
Guilty Pleasures.
Guilty Pleasures, definitely.
I think it was
Guilty
Guilty Maneuvers.
Maneuvers.
We're getting way too caught. All right, we only got a couple minutes left, you guys. I don't know how.
Where did the
hell
time go?
we
Take that,
fumbled-
Shannon Tweed.
How did we fumble through this one? This is unbelievable.
This was a lot of fun. I missed
Was
this last
fun.
week.
I'm telling you guys, this is the future of entertainment. This is the future of content. Hyper local, talking about all the stuff going on in the city. We literally got a kid picked up from school that's hanging out. We got a dog, and we're talking about stuff that goes on around us and affects us, not stuff national, international. Hyper local, my friend.
I would like to say
There it is.
that the kids are not in school this week because if you were hyper local, you'd know that
Well, that's your job. I don't
schools are
leave the
off.
house. You know that.
kids are off this
So
week.
where'd this guy come from? Just from the house?
Grandma's.
Oh, shout out to
Picked up
Grandma.
Grandma's. Got to
That's
go
what
get
it-
his bro and his buddies doing a school project. This guy is doing a science fair project on the flight of paper airplanes.
Yeah.
That's baller, dude. Super
And
baller.
he's studying very.
He doesn't look too pumped.
No,
He
he
looks like
needs to
he's-
do some more studying. It's
You
fine.
can get fancy, but that straight, just classic design will always go the furthest.
Streamline
Just
it.
saying.
I mean, he's a smart kid. He went to YouTube and he just said, "Who has a world record?" And then he just watched that guy's videos. They cut to the chase. So
Dang.
he's
Harder,
getting
not
his info
smarter.
on the YouTube. You know, we never had that growing up when you had to study for something. You didn't have
No.
the YouTube to
No.
study and have someone guide you on how to.
You
how
just
to-
had that friend's older brother who was like, yeah, this guy threw it off the top of the Empire State Building and went
so
360,000 miles and took out someone's eye. And you were like, whoa.
And
I'm
then-
going to tell that story for the rest of my life like it's true.
And then he came to Saskatoon and jumped off the 10-meter and exploded at Harry Bailey.
Yeah.
Tomorrow night, Four Nations face-off. I've been calling it the Four Nations Cup. It's the Four
That was,
Nations
that was a
face-off.
callback from AOA. Weird. I listened to that.
Beachfront Avenue. So, with that in mind, Canada versus the U.S.
Yeah.
They've made it. Canada squeaked in, almost threw it away again, because that's what Canada likes to do. Tomorrow night, this is supposed to be the best of the best, and this is supposed to be huge build-up, and this is supposed to be our Olympics, our world stage for hockey.
Can I tell you what it is? Gary?
Yeah, the break. Don't sell it to me like that, because
It's
not
an
that.
olive branch to the players when they got their abilities to go to these international events.
Yeah.
And they just wasn't going to work for the NHL at the time. So Bettman, in their
Bargaining agreement.
collective bargaining agreement, is that he would create some event such as this in the future to make up for the lack of appearances that they've had. They are going to the Olympics next year.
Yeah.
And then he's promised that there'll be Olympics. Then 2 years later, there'll be the World Cup of Hockey will make a comeback. And then 2 years later will be the Olympics again. So we're heading in that direction. This is just a teaser.
Okay.
And I don't know why you're dumping on it.
It doesn't have the feel of international play. The stuff that like a big ass tournament. It doesn't
Well,
feel like World Juniors. Doesn't
It's
feel
an
like World Cup.
NHL event.
It's an exhibition.
It's an NHL event,
Okay.
right? During when the All-Star game used to be.
Yeah.
It has 4 teams
Mhm.
that have at least 61 players in the NHL or more.
Okay.
Okay, actually, that's a lie. Finland only has 51 players in the NHL.
And come on. now.
Russia has 61. There's still that touchy subject of whether they should be in that. I think they should, because it's not necessarily an Olympic event or international, but it's still frowned upon. But you allow them to play in your league, so why aren't you still boasting the stars that they are as well?
How
So-
about this, real quick? If there was
Okay.
an All-Star game, are you saying, "Hey guys, we really like you playing in the league, but since you're Russian, you can't play in the All-Star game"? Is that something they would do?
That's something that, well, here's the thing. So Four Nations events aren't that, they're pretty common in sports like rugby,
Yeah.
where you'll have these exhibitions.
gotcha.
Sometimes soccer has friendlies in prep for other things. So
I'm with you
that's
so
all
far.
that this is. They just took the 4 most popular international countries that have the most players in the NHL and have
With it.
done the best on the world
Mhm.
stage recently, and they made an event out of it. So I have no problem with it. I think it's going to be an unreal game tomorrow. I have to coach a hockey practice, so I'll miss the first little bit. And I'm upset about it. We're talking about canceling practice.
Yeah.
So it's big enough.
It was big for you.
Yeah.
My little piss off here is that it doesn't feel big to me. I feel like we barely talked about it here, and it's
This
That's
cup's
probably our fault.
Well, no, it's like, because like Team Canada, everyone get behind Team Canada. We don't care what it is. We don't care what the sport is. We go Canada, go. That's what we do. That's how we've always been. And I feel like this thing's really flying under the radar. The only thing people have talked about from this entire tournament was 3 fights in 9 seconds between Canada and the U.S. in their first game. That's it.
That's a pretty big thing that happened. It was shocking. You weren't expecting to see that off the hop. Obviously, Canada suspected something was up. They must have caught wind of something because they had
Scrappers were on.
They had
They were ready to
Hagel,
go. Yeah.
Marchand, and whoever was centering that line. Maybe
The pest line.
maybe Point was up top. I don't know who they had at center.
Doesn't
It wasn't
matter.
Sorelli.
Point is,
Doesn't
the
matter.
puck dropped, and everyone fought, and then everyone's like, "Oh, there is a hockey tournament going on," for a second, and then everyone forgot again.
I disagree because it
Did
was
you
the
know that-
most
did you know that-
watched game besides the NHL finals
Yeah.
in like the past 10 years.
Did you know that Canada had an afternoon game on Monday?
Yeah, watched it.
Didn't even know.
Yeah,
I was.
just
I,
look at
and
the
not only did I
schedule.
not know, you want to talk about the ultimate embarrassment. Hockey Helps the Homeless. Shout out to our friends over there doing really good things. We did 3 interviews on Monday with Brian Screwlin,
Sick.
Brad May, and Matthew Barnaby.
Cool.
Did you
And
talk about
all of
me
them
at
were
all?
talking about the game. And I thought they were talking about the game before. But it was the game that was going on the Monday while
Yeah.
we were talking to them.
It was so important. Phenom got out of bed before
Literally.
1 p.m. and
Literally, we
Right?
rushed him in here.
that's
He-
how important these
he
interviews were.
saved the day. It was incredible. And that's what I mean. Like, you're talking NHL guys who don't even know the game is that. Like, why is there afternoon games at this tournament?
They
What's up with
didn't
that?
know. They didn't know. Well,
Oh, they did. The NHL pros. Yeah, they sure did.
and you didn't know.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's a thing for the world. I don't think you speak for everybody.
I'm not trying to say I am. I'm saying me personally.
Yeah. So here's the deal. I don't know
So
if
I'm
you
the
remember
old-
when
I guess I am
the
saying.
World Juniors were hosted in Saskatoon.
That came up, 91.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not that one.
Oh, the
but-
second one?
Yeah.
2010.
That's the one.
There you go.
Okay, and there's been some Memorial Cups have been hosted here, and then other cities like Calgary and Toronto and Ottawa and Edmonton, they've all hosted these types of events.
Yeah.
If you want to take 15,000 to 22,000 people in a stadium,
Mhm.
fill it and then play another game the same day, fill it at 1 o'clock, and then you want to empty it by 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock so that you can fill it with new people at 7 o'clock. That's why there is the time difference in the games. So you could have had them back to back, but then you'd have an issue of parking or exiting the arena, all those things. That was the timeline adjustment. If it was back to back, guys like me would have hit in the bathroom,
Yeah.
paid for
waited
the
out.
cheaper
Yeah.
ticket, and then just
Watch another one.
walk the concourse.
It ruined it for everyone.
I would have ruined it for everyone.
I would just like to put a little cap on this and say I'm just floored that there was 3 fights in 9 seconds in an NHL game and not on this show.
Not only, it wasn't even an NHL game, it was an international friendly match.
Mhm.
I guess
it
you
was
could say.
it was an NHL.
My joke was how have there not
featured
been
Four
3
Nations Cup.
fist fights in 9 seconds on this show, Gary, and there wasn't a hockey game.
Wasn't 9
That was
seconds.
good. That was good.
Thanks.
It was 9 seconds.
But like you stop time. You can't stop time on this show.
Sorry, 9. Oh, I see what you're
I
saying.
feel like
yeah.
you stop time on this show all the
I
time.
The showstopper.
Do you want to go me, bro?
All right, here's,
I would
here's the
go-
first one in 9 seconds.
It is good
See?
to know that
I'll make it happen. I'm going to will this into existence.
It
Let's
is
go.
good to know that I am the only one that sees it that way. That's good. That's the way it should be.
I will-
People should
hey.
be enjoying this tournament. And
Yeah.
I'm personally not. So I was hoping that I was the only one, and I feel like I am. So that's good.
I will say
We haven't started yet.
I will say when this show was in its infant stage, right? Gary did have an idea that we would buy one of these tables every single week, and to finish
Thinking
the
of
show, choke slam someone through this
Yes.
table and break the table every single show, and then he
Gimmick it so it'll break. And
Then you priced out
No, don't tell
tables.
him. Which
They're
these aren't.
expensive.
They are.
These are
He knows. He bought these.
Yeah, yeah.
I
He
did
put
buy
them
these.
together with a screwdriver instead of a drill. It was incredible.
um,
So strong.
these were pretty affordable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would
you did a
say
great job.
one of them was put together that way, and then
Go ahead, Frankie.
Deneb showed up and did the other one in
Yeah. You guys.
1/8 of a time with a drill.
People don't understand that you were in here from the beginning. You saw this whole thing grow organically.
They
You
don't
were a
need to
part of it.
understand it.
Well, it's cool to know that like your hands, those hands right there, made all. We're literally
Nope.
sitting
Made
on a
this
set.
and below us, but this
Yeah.
I did not. do anything.
Don't do that.
I put some stuff up in there.
Got
You're
the
right.
toothbrush. You've done. My point is that you do a lot and you never get credit for it because you never won it. That's why we love you. You guys gonna watch hockey tomorrow night? Pique your interest in any way? No.
Why?
Just not a hockey guy.
But so?
That's my point.
What are you a guy of?
This is supposed to transcend.
And what else? Not gonna watch it.
Football. I like NFL
I'm not
football.
gonna watch it.
That's fine.
No. It's not fine.
I'm not
Fight
sure-
number 2.
What's,
Here we
what's
go.
happening? I'm not.
There's one more to go.
Watch the dang show.
Okay.
Frankie's
If there
fingers are
isn't
going.
exhibition baseball on, I will.
I would watch
Here,
that too.
Here.
I'd watch that too, and I'd watch the NFL.
All right, you guys. Huge thank you. I had my brother Noel and my nephew's Ben and Josh come through today. It was very nice. Uncle Brando, shout out to him. Streaming over on the Twitch stream today, River City Ransom. We had a lot of fun doing that. We're doing
Amazing
it
game.
So
2-player.
Yep.
2-player
That's what
action.
we're doing. 2-player co-op. So Dufferin Ave Media on Twitch. You can check that out. Shout out to Louie for sitting here not saying a single word. You want to get on camera before you leave so people believe that you were here?
I'm right in front.
All right, fine. That's fair. To you two jabronis, thank you for always being so amazing. I'm looking very forward to it. And this is the format. This is what it is. See, when it's baseball talk, we got our baseball guy. Wrestling talk, we got a wrestling guy. Anything else, we got this guy. And then we have no Adrian, so no love to him today. But all the love to him over the top. You know, around the world.
Sure.
From here. Okay. Why are you looking at me like that?
I was burping.
What are you gonna what do you decide on supper?
No. Louis, what are we eating?
Be quick. Be quick.
Sick.
A&W.
Good choice.
Enjoy
Very
it.
expensive. Thanks.
Enjoy.
It has gotten expensive.
So expensive.
Crazy.
Hey,
But it's whatever,
guys.
Dave.
this is fantastic. Thank you so
Are
much
we
for another
pianoing
incredible
right
all the way
now?
around table. Yeah, we're about to
Pianoing
we're
for
about
a
to roll
while.
out. Remember, karma's very real. Do good things; they'll happen to you. That's literally what this place is. And
Carmen
it's proof
San Diego.
for you to enjoy. We'll be back tomorrow with CTV's Matt Young. Prime time.
Yeah.
Time.
Have a great rest of your Wednesday.